Unit 11th of Microeconomics is the revealed preference theory. This chapter includes the revealed preference theory, assumptions, choice reveals preference, Samuelson demand theorem, achievements of the theory, limitations. Marshallian cardinal utility theory and Hicks-Allen indifference curve theory used to explain the consumer's behavior. It provides psychological explanation of consumers' demand. The revealed preference theory was developed by famous economist Professor Samuelson. This theory explains consumers' demand from his actual behavior in the market in various price-income situations. The revealed preference theory describes that the utilities are only comparable and not quantifiable. Professor Tapas Majumdar has described Samuelson's revealed preference theory as behavioralist orientalist. It indicates that the theory first applies behavioristic method and second it uses the concept of ordinal utility. Revealed preference theory is the demand of or the theory of demand, take for example, has three different bases. You have studied already the two bases, one offered by a Marshall and second offered by Hicks-Allen. The third is offered by P.A. Samuelson. Theory explained by Samuelson is called revealed preference theory. Revealed preference hypothesis is described as behaviorist ordinals approach. There are two basic features of revealed preference hypothesis. First one is it implies behavioristic method. Second one, it makes use of the concept of ordinal measurement of utility. Samuelson has employed the behavioristic method. This methodology is considered as superior to the methodology used by Marshall, Hicks and Allen. Marshall, Hicks, Allen used the concept of utility. It is the psychological concept. The consumer's behavior is explained in terms of motivation and psychological valuation. But Samuelson has used behavioristic method. He explains the consumer's behavior on the basis of the observed market behavior. Revealed preference theory is explained in 1938. Since then, the literature in this field is proliferated. There are some assumptions made in this theory. Important assumptions are: first one, rationality. The behavior of the theory is rational. It means consumer prefers bundles of goods that includes more quantities of goods. This assumption is alternatively called non-saturation axiom. Consistency postulate is another important assumption. This is very important assumption in Samuelson theory. He says, if an individual select batch 1 over batch 2, he does not take the same time to select batch 2 over 1. It means that choice made by individuals does not provide conflicting evidence to the individual preference. It can be explained thus: if a consumer behaves consistently, if he chooses bundle A in a situation in which bundle B was available to him, he will not choose B in any other situation in which A is available. Symbolically, if A is less than B and B is greater than A, consistently postulate requires that if once A is revealed to be preferred by a consumer, then B cannot be revealed to be preferred to A by him at any other time. When A and B are present in both the cases, since choice observation is concerned between two situations, Professor Hicks calls this two-term consistency. Third assumption is transitivity. If a particular situation, take for example, A is preferred to B and B is preferred to C, then A is preferred to C. Symbolically, A is greater than B is greater than C, then A is automatically greater than C. Strong ordering hypothesis. Let us understand what is strong ordering hypothesis. Samuelson revealed preference theorem is based upon the strong form of preference hypothesis. Strong ordering implies that there is a definite ordering of various combinations in consumer scale of preferences. Therefore, the choice of a combination by the preference for that overall other alternative combinations open to him. Thus, strong ordering hypothesis rules out indifference between various combinations. Choice reveals preference. Preference hypothesis is the basis for the theory of demand in revealed preference theory. According to this hypothesis, when a consumer is observed to choose a combination A out of various alternative combinations open to him, then he reveals his preference for A over all other alternative combinations. When the consumer chooses A, he reveals his preference of A. He regards all other combination inferior to A. He chooses A and rejects all other combinations. He favors the chosen combination A. Therefore, Samuelson's preference hypothesis dictates that choice reveals preference. The chosen combination is revealed to be preferred among all other alternative combinations made available. The preference revealed for a particular combination of goods implies the maximization of the utility of the consumer. Now let us understand Samuelson's demand theorem. Professor Samuelson has demonstrated demand theorem within the framework of revealed preference hypothesis. The theory of demand is simple, is that an increase in goods price must, if income and other prices held constant, decrease the amount demanded. This law has been deduced from the consistency postulate and is based on assumption of positive income elasticity. What is positive income elasticity? It implies negative price elasticity. It is a methodological device to enunciate Marshallian inverse price demand relationship or the law of demand. Samuelson states his demand theorem. He calls his theorem the fundamental theory of consumption in the following manner. Any commodity that is known always to increase in demand when money income alone rises must definitely shrink in demand when its price alone rises. This theorem postulates a positive income elasticity of demand for the good in question, which is cancelled by the negative price elasticity. Samuelson translates price change into income change. If the income elasticity is positive, there is a positive then quantity relationship. Professor Samuelson has explained his demand theorem in common sense by geometrical argument and by general analytical proof. Let us understand the achievements of the theory. Samuelson theory has its own achievements and limitations. The first achievement is that revealed preference theorem is in the nature of a new foundation for economic analysis. Many economic propositions and welfare concepts are related to the preference hypothesis. Revealed preference theory has enabled the use of econometrics in the analysis of actual consumer behavior pattern in the marketplace. This theory is an improvement over Marshallian and Hicks' Allen theory of demand, as it is not based on the assumption of measurability or the assumption of constancy of marginal utility of money. Theory has given importance to income effect of a price change and neglects the substitution effect. Contrary to this version, Marshall gives importance to substitution effect. Hicks and Allen have given importance to both these effects, so Hicks and Allen version of demand theory has Marshall gives importance to substitution effect. Hicks and Allen have given importance to both these effects, so Hicks-Allen version of demand theorem as legitimate claim for generality. Let us speak about the limitations. Samuelson's revealed preference theory has gained several advantages over the earlier Malthusian cardinal utility theory and Hicks-Allen indifference curve approach to demand. But still, this theory has some limitations. They are, it does not admit the relations. Samuelson's revealed preference theory has gained several advantages over the earlier Malthusian cardinal utility theory, Hicks-Allen indifference curve approach to demand. But still, this theory has some limitations. They are, it does not admit the relation of indifference. Choice reveals a preference and there is no act of indifference in this theory. If a consumer is given an opportunity to reveal the choice from a series of observations, it is likely that indifference relation may come into being between any two situations. But this possibility is not considered by Samuelson. The possibility of indifference is seen in consumers' behavior. It can happen that the consumer may be indifferent between a few combinations. Armstrong says that such a possibility comes in the way of logic used by P.A. Samuelson. I conclude by saying that revealed preference theory of Samuelson is an important landmark in the theory of consumer behavior. This theory is based on the behavioristic method and explains the observed market behavior. The theory is based on few assumptions. The important assumptions are consistency postulate. Strong ordering theory explains that a choice made reveals a preference of the consumer. The demand theorem has been demonstrated within the framework of preference hypothesis. Samuelson, in his fundamental theorem of a consumption, has tried to establish that the demand for any good will shrink when price alone rises. Samuelson's theory has been the basis for many welfare concepts and econometric analysis. Despite its achievement, theorem suffers from a limitations of not considering the possibility of indifference.